Hey, sweetheart. We're going to read a little bit more about Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, okay? This is part 2. And we're at Genesis chapter 18, and we're going to start at verse 1. And the Lord appeared to him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. So this is speaking of Abraham. He's in the plains of Mamre, and he's sitting to us, we can say like he's sitting on a porch, but he's sitting at the tent door. And this was, probably midday. And he lifted up his eyes. So he looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground. So when Abraham saw these 3 men walking up, he ran up to meet them and said, "My Lord," this is Abraham talking, and said, "My Lord, if now I have found favor in your sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant." So Abram is speaking to the 3 men, is like, if I found favor in your sight, like, sit down, stay with us for a little bit. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort you, your hearts. After that you shall pass on. So he said, sit down, like, hang out a little bit, rest, and I'll get you, food and water. He said, you can rest right here under the tree. And they said, the 3 men said, what? So do as thou hast said. He said, hey, we'll stay a little bit. We'll sit around a little bit. That's what the angel said. So we'll do exactly what you said. We'll rest here. And Abram hastened, meaning he was moving fast, into the tent to Sarah and said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abram ran to the herd and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it to a young man, and he hasted to dress it. So what they're doing, they're getting ready to prepare a meal to feed these 3 men that walked up. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he sat by them under the tree, and they did eat. So the men is under the tree eating, talking, and one of the men says, we at 9. And they said to him, where is Sarah your wife? And he said, behold, she's in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah, your wife, shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. So Sarah overheard it. Heard when the man was like, Sarah's going to have a son. She's going to get pregnant. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age. So you got Sarah and Abraham, they old now, up in the age. And it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of a woman, meaning Sarah is so far up in her age, she doesn't have a cycle anymore. Therefore, Sarah laughed within herself, saying, let's see what Sarah said. After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? She said, I'm old now. In my old age, you telling me that I'm going to get pregnant? So Sarah was like, you know how you laugh to yourself? That's what she did. And the Lord said to Abram, wherefore did Sarah laugh? So the man is like, why did Sarah laugh? Saying, shall I of a surety bear a child which I am old? Like, how? I'm old. I'm no longer having my cycle. Like, Sarah, she just couldn't believe it, that what she was hearing. Is anything too hard for the Lord? So that's what one of the men said. Is anything impossible for the Most High to do? The Most High can do all things. At the time appointed, I will return to thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. So the men are like, we will be back. And when we come back, Sarah, she will have a son. So let's find out more. And the Lord visited Sarah. Oh, we're at Genesis chapter 21. We're going to start at verse 1. And the Lord visited Sarah, and he had said, and the Lord did to Sarah as he had spoken. So the things that the three men were saying, it came to pass. It happened. So in those footnote, those three men, they were angels. They were angels. For Sarah conceived, Sarah got pregnant and bare Abraham a son in his old age at the set time of which God has spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born to him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac. So Isaac is the child of Abraham and Sarah. So we're going to scoot down a little bit more and let's see what happens. We're still at Genesis chapter 21. We're going to go to verse 8, okay? And the child grew, meaning Isaac grew and was weaned. And Abram made a great feast the same day that Isaac was born. Meaning when he was weaned, meaning he was no longer, receiving that breast milk. So he was weaned off his mother's, breast. And so Abraham, he made a feast because back in those times, I think the child stayed on the mother's breast all the way up to age 3 or 4 or something like that. So at this time, Isaac is weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian. So now you got Sarah. She's looking at Hagar's son Ishmael, which she had borne to Abraham, mocking. So what did Sarah see? She saw Sarah's son Ishmael making mockery of baby Isaac. Ishmael had to be about 14, maybe like 14 years old at this time. And he was making mockery of Isaac. Wherefore she said to Abraham, so Sarah went to Abraham and said, cast out this bondwoman and her son. Like Sarah's like, you gotta get Hagar and her son up out of here. She's making mockery of Isaac. Sarah said, they gotta go. For the son of this bondwoman, bond means a slave woman. For the son of this bondwoman shall not be heirs with my son, even with Isaac. She said, no. Ishmael will not inherit anything from you. My son is going to inherit your possessions, Abraham. 11. And the thing was very grievous in Abram's sight because of his son. So when Abraham is hearing Sarah say all of this, and he's like, Isaac is my son. Like, I can't just kick him out. So Abram, he didn't really like what Sarah was saying. But let's see what the Most High says. And God said to Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight. He said, the Most High is telling Abraham, don't let this worry you because of the lad. The lad is meaning a young boy, because of Ishmael. Don't let that worry you. Why? Because of this bondwoman. He said, don't let this worry you. Don't let this be grievous to you because of this slave woman. And all that Sarah have said to you. He said, don't worry about all the stuff that Sarah just said to you. He says to hearken, meaning to listen to your wife. Listen to Sarah. Listen to her voice. For in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That's very important. So we're going to get into some more scriptures to understand what this meant right here when it says, in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So let's scoot up to Romans. We're going to go to Romans chapter 9, okay? Okay, right here. Romans chapter 9, we're going to start at verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham. It's like it don't matter if Abraham has a bus load of children. Are they all children? But in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Meaning Abraham can have a boatload of children. But it was only one son that came from Abraham that was chosen by the Most High. 8. That is, they which are children of the flesh. He said those, the son Ishmael that he had by the servant lady Hagar. And after Sarah, his wife, died, Abraham took a wife named Keturah, and he had children through Keturah also. But the Most High said, those children are the children of the flesh. He said, Isaac shalt thou seed be called. He said, these are not the children of God. He said, those children from Hagar and Keturah that you had by them, he said, those are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. He said, the children of the promise, which Isaac is the son of promise, he's counted of the seed. Isaac is that, he's the, you can look at it like this. There's a spiritual bloodline. Each family of people, there's a chosen out of the family. And in Isaac's case, he was chosen by God. 9. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. So that means when Isaac grows up, he will take a wife, and her name was Rebekah, and they will have children. And through Isaac, there will be a chosen son that came from Isaac. As in Abraham's case, he had other children. But Isaac is the seed of promise. He's chosen by God. Okay. And we're going to go. We're going to go to Hebrews next, okay? Hebrews chapter 11. We're going to start at verse 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. So I don't know if you remember the history about when God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac. That was a test. That was the Most High testing Abraham. He didn't really want Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. He was testing Abraham to see if Abraham would continue to obey his word, would continue to follow him no matter what. Because Abraham, he was willing to give up his son as a sacrifice. The Most High blessed Abraham, and the seed that comes after him, that chosen seed that come through Abraham, will be blessed. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that had received the promise offered up his only begotten son. Because Abraham, he loved Isaac. It was hard for him to do. He didn't really offer him up, because when he was getting ready to sacrifice Isaac, the Most High sent the angel and said, stop. It was just a test to see if you was willing to continue to be obedient to the Most High. The Most High loved Abraham because Abraham was willing to give up something so precious. He was willing to give up something that was dear to him because he would rather follow the Most High, because he know at the end of the day it's something greater that he would receive. Of whom it was said that in Isaac shall your seed be called. Some people might ask, This question right here. Like that's not fair. Why would the Most High choose just one person out of Abraham's children? Why didn't he choose everybody? All of his children. So listen to this. We're going to start at 14. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? Do you feel like the Most High was being unrighteous when he chose one and not the others? God forbid, no. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. The Most High said, I will have mercy on whomsoever I choose to have mercy on. I will have compassion on to whomsoever I choose. Nay, but we on 20. O man, who art thou that repliest against God? Like, how can you reply against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that created it? The thing formed would be us, because the Most High is who created us. He's the creator. So shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me this? Like, how is it? We're just a creation of the Most High. The Most High do as he so chooses with his creation. So do we have the right to ask the Most High, why did you choose me to be a cursed seed? Why did you choose me to be this? Or why did you choose me to be a blessed seed and you didn't choose them? Have not the potter power over the clay? Because it's the Most High is the potter. He has power over us. We are the clay. So he fashioned us in whichever way he wants us to be. Of the same lump to make one vessel to honor and another to dishonor. So the Most High, he fashioned those, his creation, in a way he wants. He'll make a vessel. He'll make a people for honor, or he can make a people to be of dishonor. What if God willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endureth with much long suffering the vessel of wrath fitted for destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessel of mercy, which he had afore prepared to glory. So this is what we're going to learn. We're going to learn who are the vessel that's fit for that. We're going to learn about who's the dishonorable vessel, and we're going to learn about which vessel that the Most High fit for honor. We're gonna learn. And the things, like I said, what you learn, it should make you feel real good. So we're gonna get into some more things. Next time we're gonna do a study on Isaac and his wife Rebecca and their children. And we're going to see how that ties in today. It's getting better. All right.